Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's off of Warren Road in Frisco, Texas. You can see that it is a cloudy day out here in North Dallas, but I decided to go out and film some big box or plant shopping videos since I have not had a chance to actually do that in a while. As always, please make sure you are pressing the like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And give me a follow on Instagram at GrowFold. I'd love to connect with you and get in touch with you about the plants. But before we get into the shopping,
hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from Houseplants.
and I am Richie from GrowFold, and we are
Cultivation
Corner.
We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video.
You have
what you're
to.
gonna do.
Have to today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Tell me why I miss tuning in on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. to watch Cultivation Corner Season 2. Our season has already completed. Hopefully, we are getting Season 3 recorded, so stay tuned for that. And for those that are new to the channel, please do a search for Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. That is with myself, Janae Simone, and Steven of I Live Plants. Those are my BFFs in the plant community, and we are hoping to get a really good Season 3 season for y'all for the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. And I've noticed that there are a lot of plant podcasts popping up. I suppose the more the merrier, but hopefully you guys will stay tuned and tune into Season 3 because it's got a lot of great topics that we've been working on. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I just miss walking into a Lowe's or some type of big box store to go plant shopping, or more so to go window plant shopping. You can see right here, I like to start my plant shopping at Lowe's by looking at the outdoor plants. These are the succulents, for instance, by Oasis Plants. This one is for $9.98. And here's the thing about big box store plant shopping. As I just got back from PlantCon Houston 2025, I was able to see amazing local and international plant vendors. But when it comes down to it, big box store plant shopping is just a little bit more universal in sense that most people have access to that. I hope that the plant foldies, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie, and I do daily plant shopping videos. My YouTube channel is usually faceless. I haven't done a face reveal, but there are reasons for that. Nothing bad, but I prefer to just highlight the plants and just talk to you guys directly that way. But as you can see right here, I am just showing you some of these succulents and cactus, and most of these are, pretty cost effective. This one is $28.98. I would say for big box or plant shopping, you really should have some type of budget, because it's easy to get carried away when it comes down to big box or plant shopping, because a lot of these plants are typically cost effective. There's a lot of variety here. I would even say that Lowe's definitely has a huge selection of outdoor garden plants and indoor tropical plants. I mean, it is late spring, almost summer, although I would say in North Dallas, we've been getting some crazy weather, close to 90 degree, 100 degree weather, tornado watches. It's just been crazy here. And so I'm just thankful that it is not really raining. It's just an overcast, which makes today easier to go out and about and film some content. But as you can see right over here, plant foldies, I am just going to walk around and show you some of the outdoor plants. Please remain with me because I will showcase a lot of the indoor tropical plants. Curious to see what kind of house plants we'll find, what kind of easy care plants we'll find, from Costa Farms plants, trending tropical plants, Live Trends design plants, and urban jungle plants. But you'll see that at the outdoor section, Lowe's really does keep their plants outdoors very healthy looking. You can see we've got some potato vines and lots of different types of plants that you can still put in your garden, whether you want a patio garden or a landscape garden. I have a vegetable garden, mostly container though, in my backyard, and my maples in my backyard are doing pretty well. As you can see right over here, we are going to be looking at some Acer palmatum, or what you call Japanese maples. That's something that I'm very much into. I love bonsai, I love Japanese maples, I love azaleas, I love Japanese gardens. So, you know, aside from me loving, you know, the indoor tropical plants, the aeroids, I am definitely a fan of the Japanese garden aesthetic. And you'll see that this Acer palmatum, this cultivar is called the Blood Good, is only for $270. And that is a major steal when it comes to the price. That is a huge saving deal. And so, as far as big box store plant shopping, you know, a lot of people have many different opinions about it. I would just say shop where you feel comfortable. Allow yourself to have a diverse selection of where you buy your plants, and don't let anybody dictate or make you feel a certain way because you either support a small business, support a big box store, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows what goes on in your daily life. As long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as you are finding value in where you get your plants, I think there's not a problem with that. You know, I was actually asked by a lot of people why I do big box store plant shopping, and I will continue to answer this question. Most people are not fortunate enough to have such a wide selection of local and small businesses out in the North Dallas area. Oftentimes, especially if you live somewhere where there's not a lot of businesses, there's going to be a Walmart, there's going to be a Target, there's going to be a Lowe's, a Home Depot, and that's really where most people will find their big box store plants. And for the most part, there's cost effective. You know, going back from PlantCon 2025 in Houston, super happy that I was able to feature that. And for those that have not seen my PlantCon videos, you already know they are detailed walkthroughs, an hour plus long videos featuring a lot of rare and variegated plants. But, you know, the soul of this YouTube channel really centers around big box store plant shopping. I don't know why there's more viewership when it comes to big box store plant shopping, but it tends to just be pushed out to more plant foldies. So today I'm just gonna go pick up plants like this. This one right here is a purple heart plant, or purple queen, $8.98. I've had one of these before, and this one can be, according to proven winners, I like the term that they use, adaptable as a house plant. Theoretically, there is no such thing as an actual houseplant. Houseplants become houseplants because we take them indoors and then we try to emulate the environment that these plants live in the native wild. So for some plants, they need a lot more bright light. For some plants, they need higher humidity levels. I would say if you're looking for an easy care plant, as I've mentioned in so many of my videos, look for a plant that is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. Reason being is in our indoor spaces, not a lot of people have the best lighting. I would say if you have a really good south facing window, that is a lot of intense light, or the humidity levels. I recently got some work done at my home, and the builders were saying that people who actually have a lot of humidity or actually have humidifiers can cause some mold. So I don't really use humidifiers anymore. I don't really want to damage my my hardwood floors and have the potential of mold. So for me, I'm kind of steered away from, you know, trying to emulate something that is not super natural for the plant. I mean, I know that there are some people that have like cool greenhouses, grow tents, cabinets, etc. And I think that is amazing. But for my space and for the types of plants I want to grow, it's not necessarily necessary for that setup. But you can see even here in the outdoor section, plant foldies. I mean, look at this. Lots of Costa Farms plants. So you'll see that Costa Farms even has outdoor patio type plants. We've got some mixed planters. We've got some crotons here. We already know that most people are not really into crotons. I love them, but they don't love me back. Have you ever had a plant that like you are absolutely in love with, but that love is not returned? Leave that in the comments section below. And plant foldies, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. Like I said again, it just helps the YouTube channel out. It helps us grow. It helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And I definitely want to, give credit to all of the nurseries, for instance, Costa Farms, that continues to churn out a lot of these plants. I mean, this is the tricolor hibiscus, where it has 3 different types of color blooms for that hibiscus plant, which I think is amazing. And as you can see right here, most Lowe's locations, especially in the northern suburbs of Dallas, are extremely well organized. I never have issues with in stocks when it comes to plants, and I just love like walking around and showing you this. Like, these are the Tropic Escape series by Costa Farms. These are the Mandevilla flowers, and unfortunately, Mandevilla flowers, at least in North Dallas, are typically grown as an annual plant because we get some extremely cold weather in the winter, and so that's just a tropical environment. So it really depends on your grow zone. And I am really itching to start doing bonsai plants again. This one right here is one of those better boxwood bonsai. So whenever I'm looking at the nibari, or what you call the root flare or trunk, this one would make a good pre-bonsai specimen. I really want to get into that perhaps next year, because as I've settled into my plant collection, I'm not collecting so many different types of plants. I've kind of narrowed it down to mostly Aglaonema. You already know that, mostly Aglaonema. And if you didn't catch my PlantCon 2025 plant haul, where I featured so many Aglaonema that I received from overseas, definitely check it out. And I'm just curious, for anybody that's listening and watching, have you ever just like binge watched some of my my videos and actually checked out the playlist? That's something that if you're doing like your plant chores, or you just need somebody to talk to in the background, just play one of my videos. I would absolutely love that. What I also absolutely love is the fact is these Tropic Escape plants by Costa Farms are only for $6.98. You can see that that is a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. And honestly, plant foldies, I am just soaking in all of this beautiful foliage, all of these tropical plants that you can grow at least in Dallas for a season, unless you are trying to try to overwinterize them. That's a lot of work for me. So if I am going to grow some of these plants, they will end up being more of an annual versus something that I'm going to try to overwinterize. But needless to say, this is something that I miss. I miss going big box store plant shopping. I'm trying to record more of these videos. So for those that are more into the big box store plant shopping videos, thank you for being patient with me. But as you guys know, my interest with plants, or just things in general, are very much eclectic. To let you know a little bit more about me, I absolutely love being a foodie. So I have actually been collecting a lot of my food blogs together, which I will upload in my membership tier only videos. So if you haven't heard, and I'm pretty sure you have though, I have a YouTube membership tier that I started called the Super Plant Foldies. Well, you'll have access to some of my more personal plants. I am going to go ahead and just do my houseplant tour on that YouTube membership tier. At first, you'll see my baby chickens, Charlotte and Catriona. They are growing up. They are about to be 5 weeks old, and they have just sized up. And then I will also show you some of my food blogs, my lifestyle blogs, things that are a little bit outside of the big box or plant shopping videos. So again, if you want to join my YouTube membership tier, if you're watching a computer, you can click the join button, and it's only for $2.99. And I met a couple of plant foldies that were out at PlantCon 2025, and it's just interesting how they say it's only for the price of a cup of coffee. So it definitely is. So if you want to show some support, get to know me a little bit more, possibly see a face reveal, join my YouTube membership tier. There is a direct link if you're not watching it on a computer. It's on the pinned comment section. Just click on that. I would love for you guys to join it. But anyways, going back to all of these plants, you'll see that a lot of these Tropic Escape plants are priced affordably. This one's for $6.98. I'm loving the cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This is what you call the kiwi cordyline plant. Unfortunately, at least in my experience, cordyline tea plants are very challenging to grow indoors long term because they're very much so spider mite prone. And I really think a lot of it has to do with just the natural environment. Perhaps cordyline plants are really just more suitable for the outdoor garden. I know that I have proven winners leaf joy plant called the cordyline Hawaiian tea plant, the pinstripes, where it literally is growing in full sun and it is living its best life. And speaking of full sun and bright light, let's take a look at all of these assorted succulents and cactus by Oasis Plants. They are ranging from prices of $9.98, $29.98, and you'll see this is the aloe vera velociraptor, and I love the look of it. I didn't even realize that there were so many different varieties of aloe vera until I started doing big box store plant shopping videos. I can't believe that I've been doing this for almost a year and a half, 2 years, and so for those that have stuck around for a long time, shout out again to Kathy from Canada, my super plant foldie, and even Tree. Tree is actually one of my original subscribers well before I even started posting videos about plants. I used to do origami ASMR videos where I basically just made videos of me folding an origami paper crane. If you guys didn't know, I still have a goal of folding 1 million paper cranes in my lifetime. I fold origami paper cranes every day. It kind of combats my OCD tendencies. I've been very transparent about just mental health and things that I do to cope with some of my mental health issues, such as OCD, anxiety. And I really think that a lot of our plant foldies, it is a dialogue that I like to open up in addition to just me walking around and showing you guys plants. So for those that are new, this is a little bit different in terms of just your typical big box or plant shopping video. I'm not just going to pick up plants, give you the price, and give you a summary of the plant care tips. It's more of an open dialogue, so feel free to leave comments about anything that you plant related, or even things that are going on in your daily life. And I did want to shout out Teal for creating a plant foldie group, I suppose, on Facebook. I know that a lot of you guys look forward to the live premiere chats, but I just haven't been as consistent about posting live premieres at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I honestly feel like the algorithm hasn't always been as kind to me, but it is what it is. And I'm going to do my best to try to get these daily videos up and running again. And you can see right here, these are the hostas. And did you see that the hostas actually bloom white flowers? That was actually my very first time ever seeing a hosta bloom white flowers. So I think that that is awesome. And you can see right over here, we got some banana plants right over here in a mixed container. So as I walk around here, I am going to show you guys more mixed containers. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think. And I'm about to go ahead and go into the indoor tropical section, which I already know, knowing the plant foldie community, that is your main event. But I do love outdoor gardening. I do love outdoor plants. So that's something I want to at least feature for those that are into it, because at the end of the day, every plant foldie has their own little niche of plants. Hopefully we can diversify our interests, because I feel like diversity really makes life more colorful, really makes life more interesting, and just learning people's different viewpoints and interests is something that I want to foster on this YouTube channel. So you can see we've got Epipremnum aureum, or what you call a golden pothos. We've got the potato vine right over here. So lots of easy care plants, especially the golden pothos. That one is by Lowe's for $19.98. So we're going to go ahead and spin around and see what other plants we have here. It looks like we've got some Tradescantia pistachios, hanging baskets, love that as well. And then we also have some more hanging baskets of golden pothos. And obviously this is a plant foldie classic. This is a Hydra Helix. I haven't said that in a while. Say it with me, plant foldies. 1, 2, 3. Hydra Helix. Or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix, or what you would call the English ivy. I actually have 2 English ivies that have actually made it through a winter outdoors where it was like frozen solid. We had ice, we had snow, but for some reason they still survive, and now they are living their best life in a container outside. I will never plant an ivy in the ground in my landscape because it is super invasive, and I just want to make sure that you guys know that I am not encouraging people to put that in their landscapes, because somebody in the comment section mentioned that I should not direct people to do that. I've never directed anybody to plant an English ivy in a landscape. It's kind of like if you planted mint, you can just never get rid of it. I always say if you want the higher chance of growing an English ivy without it getting spider mites, grow it in a container outdoors in a shaded area, and it will just thrive for you. And speaking of thriving, look at all of these begonias right here. These are the wax begonias, or what you call the flowering begonias. So many begonias, and they always tend to come out during the springtime and late summers. Love the bloom. Some people will grow the flowering begonias as an outdoor patio plant, and you can see these are really cool setups for the plants outdoors. Now we are going to the main event, which is the indoor tropical plant. So we're going to be taking a look at Live Trends Design Plant, Urban Jungle Plant, and of course Costa Farms Plant. So we're going to take a look right now at the Live Trends Design Plant. The thing about Live Trends Design, as I mentioned in all my videos featuring these plants, they have a very stylistic approach about the plants. You can see this one is in a self-watering clear planter. This one is a ZZ plant. I think this is the ZZ Zenzi plant. Correct me if I'm wrong, by Live Trends Design. This one is for $18.98 in this self-watering planter. I like self-watering planters mostly for my semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuza Pon or Leca. And then you can see right here, this is a really nice hydroponic setup, although this needs some water very soon. This is a Dracaena of some sort. And the thing about it is, Dracaenas luckily can be a little bit more drought tolerant. So this one will be able to survive for just a little bit longer, but it's going to need some water ASAP. And then we're going to take a look at some more of the other plants. You can see another Live Trends Design planter, and this one is a Syngonia Maria. Now with the Syngonia Maria, you see how it's got that dark chocolate foliage color on it. In order to maintain that, you're going to need to give it bright indirect light, lots of bright indirect light for it to maintain that dark foliage, which is so elegant looking. And then over here, we have another self-watering planter of another type of Sansevieria or snake plant. I like this look right here. I have one that is a variegated version. And you know, with snake plants, or what you call Sansevieria, these plants are definitely easy to take care of just because they are low light tolerant and definitely drought tolerant. Actually, overwatering is what will actually send this plant to plant heaven. You can get away with not watering it for quite some time. I would just say wait till the soil is completely dry, and then wait another week for it to be fully dry, and then you can go ahead and give it a drink. And that plant is very easy to take care of. And then as I spin around here, we're just going to pick up some more of these plants. You'll see that we have a red Marantha here for $16.98 in one of those ceramic planters by Live Trends Design. Again, with Live Trends Design, they just have a very modern take on their planters. I am a huge fan of their ceramic planters. I could have one of these ceramic planters all over my house. I mean, you can take a look at this, $16.98. This one is a beautiful Philodendron Heteroraceum Brazil. Gotta love the look of this plant. It's one of those plants that is definitely easy to care for. It is drought tolerant, but don't let it stay dry for too long. Otherwise, the leaves start to get really leggy. And it's the same thing with these Epipremnum aureum. So this pothos plant, Pearls and Jade pothos, love the variegation. This one is a little bit faster growing than the Enjoy pothos. This one is for Live Trends Design, again in a pink ceramic planter for only $16.98. With pothos plants, they are low light tolerant. So even with this Pearls and Jade pothos, it's not necessarily going to revert back to green. It's just not going to be as variegated in lower light conditions. It is a plant though that's very easy to care for, and for a variegated pothos plant, that one holds its variegation very well. And then we have a silver band Marantha right over here. This used to be very uncommon, considered even rare, but now it's at a big box store. Now this one is for $14.98. This one is by Urban Jungle Plants, and this one right here, you can see that there is a little bit of a different type of aesthetic behind it. And then I'm just gonna pan away over here and just show you all of the plants that they have available. You can see that there are quite a bit of plants at this Lowe's. I would say I've seen this Lowe's be a little bit more in stock, but I am not complaining considering I haven't been at a big box store for a little while. I've been caught up with PlantCon 2025 in Houston. Again, if you haven't seen that footage, definitely check it out, because if you ever want to see a whole plant show, my videos definitely cover a lot of it. And then you can see right here, pink planter, $18.98. This one is a bromeliad, and I just love the pink foliage on this bromeliad. Bromeliads, again, are another plant that I feel like is underrated. Not a lot of people really like bromeliads, or I don't really see a lot of people talking about it as far as content creation goes for plants. I don't currently own a bromeliad, except one that I got from PlantCon in Orlando, but it's a different type of bromeliad. And you can see there is a combination planter here, $22.98. It's in a shallow planter. It looks like these plants are in sphagnum moss, or at least they're sphagnum moss top dressing. So we've got a peperomia ginny and some type of bromeliad right over here alongside a Schefflera moondrop. So 3 plants for the price of one, $22.98. And so we're just going to continue to pick up some plants here. Feel free to leave in the comment section, plant foldies, what plants you are a fan of. If you have any questions about the plant care, I love the terracotta planter here. Very classic, only $10.98. Again, for this bromeliad. So bromeliads, there's many different varieties of bromeliads. I am not an expert when it comes to the plant care tips. So for anybody growing bromeliads, please leave in the comment section, because the plant foldy community just loves to learn from each other. I have learned so much from you guys, and I so appreciate just the commentary and the plant care tips. Now, Vanda orchids. I love Vanda orchids. They have really unique aerial roots. In terms of Vanda orchids, you can just grow them in a orchid cage. You don't even really need any orchid bark substrate for it, and it will do perfectly. They get really large blooms. And then we're going to take a look at this. So this is another Live Trends design planter. It is the Face of David, and it's a very quirky looking planter. I would say it's definitely not in my aesthetic, but that is a little bit more quirky, considering Live Trends design tends to be more modern and sleek. And in $19.98, we got some velvety texture type of calathea. I don't know this calathea plant ID. So if you know the plant ID, leave in a comment with a timestamp, so that way we are more aware of it. Now, with the velvety textured leaves, for any of these plants, I would say they're a little bit more spider mite prone. For some reason, velvety texture plants are more spider mite prone. This one is a little bit more finicky as compared to the already finicky calathea. This plant honestly is not a plant I would recommend putting in a collection, because it does need higher humidity levels. The water quality needs to be pretty much rainwater for it to not get the yellowing leaves. And so, you know, I've always wondered why certain plants like calatheas and maranthas make it into the big box stores, knowing that for the most part, everybody doesn't really have that type of environment or growing condition. Ficus elastica burgundy, $18.98 by Urban Jungle. Again, that was another plant that if you're able to grow them outdoors, these rubber tree plants or Ficus elastica can get to large sizes. I actually have a Ficus shivriana that I am growing in full sun. It is actually getting a lot of south-facing light, so it is an intense sun, but it is doing so well for me. It's a plant that I bought online from The Green Escape as almost like a starter tissue culture type plant. I've had it for a couple years. It's a slower plant. Here we have some more Live Trends design trellises of Hoyas. If somebody can give me the Hoya plant ID for this one, I'd really appreciate it. But if you like Hoyas on a trellis, this is super cute, super modern, and Live Trends Design offers that. So I'm just gonna walk around and pick up some more plants. Again, plant foldies, just let me know your insights on these plants. And I have to say, I miss this type of video, just being able to pick up plants and talk about plants and just show you plants that you could see at a big box store. I've seen a lot of variegated rare plants, but I honestly just want to see plants at a big box store like this. $27.98. So you've got a combination planter of a Syngonium and a Phalaenopsis orchid. This is the type of video that I feel like a lot of our plant foldies really resonate with. A lot of y'all will hang out, and so I'm hoping that you guys will help push this video out to more plant foldies by making sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. Again, it definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. Would really appreciate that support, and just know that throughout the week, I'm going to try my very best to film and schedule these videos ahead of time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we can kind of recalibrate the algorithm. I just feel like even with my PlantCon videos, they didn't get nearly as much viewership, and I think it's because the algorithm may not necessarily have pushed it. So if you guys want to hashtag team replay some of these videos, share them with other people, would appreciate that. Now over here, it is another Costa Farms plant. This one has a Manjula pothos and a Phalaenopsis orchid. Manjula pothos is my second most favorite type of pothos. The neon pothos is my favorite alongside with the Manjula pothos. What I love about the Manjula pothos is it has a rounder, larger leaf, really interesting variegation. And if you're gonna grow this on a moss pole or some type of poles to where its aerial roots can attach, it will get some beautiful, large, variegated leaves that can rival even like a Monstera albo. And as I pan away over here, beautiful Phalaenopsis orchids. And Phalaenopsis orchids, especially with Costa Farms, they have these available anytime during the year. They are not a seasonal plant. And as I back away here, I'm just gonna continue to pick up some plants and show you what they have at this location. Again, I'm hoping that they'll get a massive restock. I mean, you can see right here, $14.98. This is a Kokodama hanging basket. So it's got a coconut husk, and this plant, this bird's nest fern, is just growing beautifully, and it almost looks like a vegetable of some sort. So let's see what else we can find at this Lowe's location in terms of houseplants. So aside from just houseplants, have you ever looked at plant accessories? So this really cute Live Trends mister. I don't particularly miss my plants, but I'm just curious if anybody actually missed their plants to add some of that humidity. And then we're gonna spin around here, and you can see that Lowe's has so many different varieties of different types of soils, soil substrates, soil additives. And so all of those plant products are really useful if you're needing to amend your soil. If you ask me though, my favorite soil to use, and I will continue to promote it, is Classy Rabbit soil. So please make sure you are checking out classyrabbit.com. Some of the best soil I've ever used. And then you can just see right over here, plant foldies. I miss picking up Costa Farms exotic angel plants. These ones are the $8.98 5-inch planters. This one is an Epipremnum aureum, or what you call a golden pothos. And pothos plants, even if you are an experienced grower or somebody that collects rare plants, I still think a pothos plant belongs in anybody's collection. Now we also have the ruby red Photonia for $8.98, and this one is another beautiful red foliage plant. And as far as Costa Farms exotic angels, again, if you ever want to start a diverse, beautiful tropical paradise, you can just invest in some of these starter exotic angel plants. You don't always have to buy like an 8-inch hanging basket planter by Costa Farms. Costa Farms has some really affordable, cost-effective, budget-friendly house plants, and a lot of them vary in plant care. Most of them are easy care. There are some that are a little bit more finicky, but in addition to that, you can see this $9.88. We have what you call a wick and grow planter. So specifically Lowe's has Costa Farms exotic angel planters with the little watering wick, and you can stick it into one of these wick and grow planters. There is a little bit of a water reservoir. You'll see that this is a spathiphyllum or peace lily just sitting in this beautiful planter. And we just have several exotic angel plants. Like this one right here is a Syngonium Maria. Really love this one as well. Dark foliage, again, with any dark foliage plants or any plants that have neon or specific color plant, you want to give it the best bright indirect light in order for it to really maintain that light. We've got a Philodendron heteroraceum here, and these are the smaller 3.5-inch planters. These are for $5.98. I am thinking about doing a plant shopping video where I have a specific budget and I'm going to choose which plants, Costa Farms exotic angel plants, like this one right here is a beautiful Hydra helix, or what you call, the correct way to say it is Hedera helix. And this one is the Pixie Dixie English ivy. And English ivies, I just really think that English ivies are meant to grow outdoors in a planter. Let me correct that, planter, not in the ground, because they're super invasive. Croton Sunny Star, love this one as well. And crotons, They're just a plant that is very finicky. They're kind of similar to like ficus plants where they need a lot of light and they get a little bit finicky when the watering isn't as consistent. And then here we have another Maria Syngonium. I love that chocolate deep brown foliage of this plant. And I'm just going to continue to show you some more of the Exotic Angel Costa Farms plants. Please feel free to leave in the comment section what Costa Farms Exotic Angel plants you've bought, what you think of them, what your plant care tips are for specific ones, like this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. That is a tongue twister sorta. Durable plant, easy to care for plant, a house plant I would recommend, and it is also budget friendly. So if you're looking for house plants, I do recommend getting Costa Farms plants, especially if you don't have access to like local small businesses, nurseries, or if you don't really want to buy things online. Now over here is another beautiful urban jungle ceramic planter. This one is a silver marantha. Love this one as well. And I think in terms of silver marantha, you know, I've tried to grow this before. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to maintain the watering and therefore it went to plant heaven. And so I am just going to bring plants into my home that are definitely going to be more drought tolerant and low light tolerant. Like this one right here is a Philodendron heteroecium Brazil urban jungle plant in a ceramic planter again. And this one is for $14.98. Another budget friendly plant. And I keep repeating budget friendly because as we continue to collect plants, grow plants, hoard plants, however you want to say it, we want to also be cognizant of our plant budgets. I just recently got back from PlantCon 2025 in Houston, Texas, and I'll tell you, I definitely spent quite a bit of money. And so again, for the plant foldies that have left me a monetary tip or what you call a super sticker, thank you so much. It helps fund some of my plant budget and also my travel time. And for those that have joined the YouTube membership tier, the super plant foldies, all in all, it just helps with the sustainability of the YouTube channel. So I appreciate that. But again, budgets. Let's talk about budgets. Whenever you go big box store plant shopping, I would like for our viewers and subscribers to leave in the comment section what type of budget you have for your plants, what plants you're specifically looking for, because it is important for me as I talk through some of these big box store plant shopping videos to really get to know our viewers. I've been able to meet some of you guys in person at PlantCon, but I would just really like to know what types of plants, aside from Aglaonema. I feel like sometimes you guys almost feel obligated to love Aglaonemas, but truthfully, they are amazing plants. But it's one of those things where when you are into a certain plant, you have the passion to share that joy. But I really want all of our plant foldies, as I pick up a lot of these Costa Farms trending tropical plants, exotic angel plants, to let me know what big box store plants you've bought, what the pricing was, and specifically leave in the comment section what kind of plant budget you work with whenever you are going plant shopping. I'd like to know, and that just really drives the engagement among our plant foldy community. And you know, I just love it when you guys actually tune into a live premiere. So if you're watching this live, don't be shy to jump into the live chats. Typically people will jump into the live chats by watching it on the computer or on a mobile phone app. But if you're watching it on TV, you can still turn on the live chat and see what people are saying. Syngonium, Berry Illusion, beautiful Syngonium. This one is also for $5.98. Syngoniums and I are back in love. I've mentioned this in the past, but Syngoniums have been my first love. They are a plant that I collected, but then again, Syngoniums are also fussy when it comes to being underwatered. You don't want to leave them not watered for too long because their health declines very quickly. Same thing with the Dieffenbachia. Now this is the Dieffenbachia Amy. I love the variegation, and I actually have a Dieffenbachia called a Dieffenbachia Ghost Mint that I was able to get from an overseas vendor seller called Green Spaces ID. When I do my houseplant tour, and my houseplant tour is going to go on the Super Plant Foldy membership tier first, you will see that Dieffenbachia. But let me go ahead and just walk around and continue to just show you some of the plants that you can find while shopping at Lowe's. Most of them are going to be Costa Farms plants, and we're going to go ahead and delve into some of the hanging baskets that Costa Farms offers. And foldies above, you'll see all the gorgeous urban jungle hanging ceramic planters. Look at this beautiful red marantha. Now this one is by Live Trends Design. You'll see that there is a difference in the presentation of the planter. Live Trends Design just tends to be a little bit more on the modern side when they are presenting their ceramic planters. It's the same plants, but you know, I mentioned this also. My aesthetic for plants is I like more modern or more very simplistic planters where they're more neutral colors. Although I would say even with the urban jungle planter like this philodendron hederaceum neon, beautiful heart-shaped leaf philodendron. This one, as far as plant care tips, water when the soil is dry, bright indirect light is best because that's how you maintain the neon coloration. Same thing with my favorite pothos plant. I think this is a neon pothos. Nope, actually it is a jade pothos. You could call this a golden pothos, but this is more green. So I would say this is more of the jade pothos, one of the most vigorous, fast growing pothos plants. And, you know, even if it is a basic plant, it is a plant that I truly believe, just like I mentioned, oftentimes is just because it has green foliage doesn't mean that it is any less valuable than a variegated plant. Some people will disagree with me, but I really think it depends on what you look for in a plant. If you're looking for a plant that has that mystique or aesthetic, yes, a variegated plant is awesome, but if you're looking for green plants like this, Epipremnum pinnatum skeleton keys, for instance, even though it's green, it's got some beautiful deep green foliage, really easy to grow, fast growing, very easy to propagate. And this is another plant that is endemic and native to my family's home country, the Philippines. So again, for any kababayans or countrymen that are Filipino, please leave in the comment section any comments in Tagalog. I would love to connect with my fellow Filipinos. And, you know, it's just so interesting as I look at some of these plants, how a lot of these plants come from, you know, Asia, Latin America, South America, Africa, and other parts of the world, and they end up being what you call houseplants. It's another, I guess, tip that I would tell our plant foldies. If you ever have like questions about plant care, I would do an online search for the native environment or a native picture of where the plant is, and it will tell you what kind of care requirements are for the plant just by looking at its natural environment. Now, this plant right here, a lot of these plants that I'm going to be picking up are urban jungle planters. You can see that urban jungle has more of a boho type aesthetic. I love it. I love the fact that they utilize terracotta planters. And then you can see right from the get-go, there is the Live Trends Design planter. Very modern, very sleek, very simplistic planters. So it just depends on the planter sometimes, the presentation of the plant. And so I am just curious to see what you guys think. Now, as far as urban jungle planters like these are for $13.98. You can see they've got an assortment of philodendron, alocasias, and other types of indoor tropical plants. This one, though, I do like the pattern on it. It's just not going to work for my aesthetic, but, you know, in terms of the patterns, I have to commend Urban Jungle. They really have a fun, whimsical presentation on their planters. And when you think about it, the planter and the plant itself is very cost-effective, budget-friendly, and I like that. That is only for $13.98. And, you know, as I do this plant shopping video, I do miss this. I miss the process of picking up plants and then filming them with my phone. You know, I've had questions about how I film my plants. It's really just point and shoot editing. I don't do a lot of editing like some of the other content creators. I kind of want my footage to be a little bit more reliant on the dialogue and also just the presentation by just picking this up as if you were walking alongside with me. I really want to give that that type of presentation because I really love the plant foldies. I hope you know, for anybody, and I say this wholeheartedly, anybody that gives me the time of day to click on my video, to give it a thumbs up, a button, to leave a comment, but more importantly, to just listen to me talk for an hour about plants, you are amazing. And just know, by you even just doing that, you are bringing joy to me. And I do really believe that the world needs a lot more kindness, and that is a huge way to express your kindness, at least toward me. Now, as far as the urban jungle plants, again, Sansevieria bird's nest, Love this, $13.98. And I love the terracotta planters with the hand painted look on it. Like I said, again, it just depends on your aesthetic. And so for me, I'm just going to continue to show and present what types of plants you can find at a big box store like Lowe's. This is one of the best places to go shopping for your plants, especially if you are budget conscious or if you just need a pick-me-upper. Plant shopping tends to do the thing for a lot of our plant foldies. And as far as just the cost, $13.98 for this urban jungle planter. I love the fact that, Urban Jungle Planters, Live Trends Design, rival Costa Farms. You can see this Homalomena, Shelby, for instance. This is a plant I want to get, but as beautiful as the foliage is, and it almost reminds me of an Aglaonema, it's just a harder plant to keep alive. So I'm really trying to steer away from plants that are not as forgiving. Now, there are certain plants called what I call the Phoenix plants. Did you know you can actually send a Alocasia to plant heaven, but if you let it dry out completely, you can resurrect it like a phoenix by just letting the corm regrow out. I've learned this. And so as far as Alocasias, they have a bad rep of being a finicky plant, but some of them can be resurrected and become a phoenix plant, a plant that comes back from the ashes and grows and gives you a second chance. Now, as far as ZZ plants right here, $29.98, easy to care for plant. That green foliage is still stunning to me. It has a very waxy texture to the leaves, and this is one of the most durable, easy plants. Some people will call it basic, but if you need a plant that is not going to go to plant heaven, that is forgiving, that is easy to care for, that is still classically acceptable in a lot of people's homes in terms of just the ambient environment, go ahead and get yourself a ZZ plant. Dieffenbachia sublime right here. I love the variegation. It's just a challenging plant because it does need quite a bit of bright indirect light. This is only for $22.98. This is in a 10-inch planter by Costa Farms, and Costa Farms has all of these Lowe's exclusive planter combination planters. $17.98 for a self-watering planter. We've got a Syngonium, a Rex Begonia, and a palm. So I love the fact that there is a combination planter, but I'm not 100% sure whether I'm really going to be into the combination planters. I'm more of a purist when it comes to the presentation of the plants. I don't really like the arrangement, so feel free to leave in the comments if you're into these combination planters. I'm seeing more and more of this. So, as far as nurseries like Costa Farms, I think they're just being a little bit more experimentative, and I like that. Sometimes you have to push the envelope a little bit because I think to remain competitive, whether it's in plants or just any field, you have to present something a little bit more unique. And that's the reason why I say for anybody that either works for Costa Farms, Live Trends Designs, Urban Jungle Plants, a local small business, start the trend by getting some of those rare and colorful Aglaonema. If you're able to present that, I promise you that's going to be the new trend. It's just that is just not as available for people, and I don't think a lot of content creators are really talking about Aglaonema. So I truly hope that our efforts as the plant folding community will spread and people will be aware of that now. But as far as Scindapsus, I definitely need to get this silver metallic looking Scindapsus. This is one of the newer trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, and I absolutely find this stunning for $19.98. So, Costa Farms trending tropical plants, some people may not be a fan of Costa Farms, totally understand, for whatever reason, but for me, I like Costa Farms plants because they are affordable and they are generally easy to find at any big box store. Big box stores are more universally found versus, living in areas where you may just not have that access to these plants. And I have to really reiterate that. Diversity in where you buy your plants is key. I wouldn't say you necessarily have to buy all your plants at a big box store. If you have options to support local and small businesses, definitely do that. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday, I will be participating with my plant podcast that I'm part of, Cultivation Corner, at Peta's Planters in Dallas. We will be having a summer night market, and I'm super excited to be invited and really hosting that event. So, that goes to show, as much as I do big box or plant shopping videos, my heart is always going to be for the small businesses, for some of the underdogs, like the underdog plants. I mean, I'm always talking about Aglaonema. Let's get real, right? Nobody wants to talk about Aglaonemas. I just got back from PlantCon 2025, and the rave for the plants would always be Anthurium. So I like that I am able to just talk about my interest, and you guys have allowed me to be really authentic on this channel. And yes, I am still looking at this planter. Look at this ginkgo leaf planter. I've been looking at this planter for about a year and a half. I just haven't bought myself this planter. I don't know if I really want to spend that much money on it, but it would really make a good addition to some of my plants in just how I present them. And then I'm just going to go ahead and plant foldies and again pick up all of the assortment of Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Leave in the comments section what you think, which ones you would buy, any plant care tips. And if you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, may I ask why, if you're still watching, you haven't done that? And may I ask, please go ahead and press that thumbs up or like button for this video, because like I said, all in multiple occasions, it just helps push this content out to more future plant foldies that can join our YouTube channel. You can see there's a lot of these hanging baskets. So even though I feel like this Lowe's hasn't gotten a full restock, I have to commend this particular location because they keep their plants fairly healthy, really organized well, and I'm just curious to see what new crop of Costa Farms plants are going to make it out of big box stores. Costa Farms, I need more Aglaonema. I love that we have this Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue for $16.98, but I need more Aglaonema. Now this one right here is an 8-inch hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum Yesenia pothos. So Yesenia pothos is another uncommon pothos plant. I like the variegation, but it easily reverts to green unless you give it that bright indirect light. Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil right here. This is a Live Trends design plant. You can see that it's got good variegation. Higher light conditions are going to push out more of that neon color. So it's interesting how plants are either influenced by the initial genetics of the plant or more so plants that are influenced by the amount of light it receives. This one is another Hydra Helix. Now say it with me, plant foldies, because we haven't really said it together. 1, 2, 3. Say it out loud. Hydra Helix. Okay, I'm gonna stop being silly, but for those, especially for my plant foldies, leap, I have to shout you out. Thank you for counting how many times we say Hedera Helix on the channel, and of course Kathy from Canada. Let's go ahead and just keep picking up some of these exotic angel plants by Costa Farms and enjoy the foliage. And let's go ahead and give it up for another Hydra Helix. This one is a Ermania English Ivy right here for $20.98 by Costa Farms. I'm still curious to see if any plant foldies are actually still part of the Hydra Helix Challenge 2025. Are your English Ivy still alive in your indoor spaces? Leave that in the comment section below, because mine are doing well outdoors. Indoors, I'm afraid they're going to get spider mites. Here is a Polynesian Ivy. This is another example of a plant that I have been looking at for probably an entire year, but I have yet to end up buying it, just because sometimes you can just enjoy the plant whenever you're just going big box or plant shopping. Like for instance, this Flame Violet, for instance, $16.98 by Costa Farms. But this is another example of a plant that I could just admire and look at when going plant shopping. And I, mind you, plant foldies, I actually filmed 2 episodes when I filmed this, this big box or plant shopping video. And you know what? I didn't end up buying a single plant, even though there were so many plants that I'm tempted to buy. Like I was even thinking of getting a lipstick plant like this, but being a little bit more intentional about the plants that I want to collect has just really helped me maintain my budget and just not trying to over inundate myself with plants that I know I can't necessarily care for. Aglaonemas, hands down. You wave an Aglaonema at me and I'm going to end up just, taking it, even though I probably have too many in my plant collection. I asked the plant foldies during a live premiere chat how many Aglaonemas you thought I have. And it's funny how a lot of people voted that I had 100 plus Aglaonema. Let's just say that might actually be fact. So I'm really excited to show you more of my Aglaonemas, and thank you to those that have actually taken the time to watch some of my potting up videos, my unboxing videos of some of my Aglaonema. I don't know if it's necessarily the algorithm that controls who actually gets the content, or if you're just more interested in big box or plant shopping videos. Totally get it. But for anybody that just engages in all of my videos, I appreciate that. I do ask the plant foldies. I need to feel the plant foldies, because when you think about my YouTube channel name, have you ever wondered why I call it Plant Foldies Grow Folds? Grow is literally the plant portion or the plant content of this channel. Folds is actually in reference to the original intent of this channel, which is origami paper folding. The Japanese art of paper folding. I was folding dozens of origami paper cranes every single day. I still do that. I just don't make as many videos. I haven't made an origami paper crane video in over a year, I think. Definitely check out that playlist of how to fold an origami paper crane, because if you're a true, and I say this, true plant foldie, you should know how to fold an origami paper crane using a square. But going back to the plants again, this one is another plant. This is an example. I'm telling you, y'all, this is an example of a plant that I would totally buy, because look at how beautiful this Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil is. $16.98. I love how it's nice and full. It's got lush foliage and the beautiful variegation. So let's just continue to pick up some more of these plants that Costa Farms has. You already know Costa Farms plants are everywhere. And, thank you to the Costa Farms team again for always showing kindness, for always being there to answer my questions whenever I reach out to them on Instagram. And if you are not on Instagram, plant foldies, stop waiting and create yourself an Instagram account, because that's where a lot of the plant foldies are heading to. So if you want to continue the party, the plant party, the interactions, the communication, get yourself an Instagram account. That's where I really do a lot of my posting as well, aside from my daily big box or plant shopping videos. So we're just going to continue to go pick up a couple more plants. These are mostly the self-watering planters, $15.98. This is the Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf tree. Love this plant. Mine is doing extremely well. The one that I bought for 99 cents is still going strong, and I don't water it nearly as much. So I don't know if it's just adapted to the drought conditions. I don't know. It's doing pretty well. So we're going to look at some more of these plants right here. Xanthosoma. I had one of these. I just didn't stay on top of the watering. This is another plant that gets finicky when it's not watered consistently. So I had to part ways with it. It ended up fluttering all the way to plant heaven. It may come back to me eventually, but I need easy to care for plants. I need Aglaonema. I asked the question whether anybody has actually done a online search for Aglaonema, Crown of Siam. That is my #1 wish list plant. If you want me to get closer to that wish list plant and help fund me, you can always drop a super sticker. You know, I am one of those people that I don't have any qualms or shame to let people know that that is an option. I remember in the comment section, somebody was trying to roast me about me begging for funding. That's not the case. It's literally giving people options on whether they want to do it or not. And I have to say, plant foldies, or what I call my foldy nights, thank you for always defending me in the comment section, because at the end of the day, this channel is not for you if you want to be somebody that's trolling the comment section, because you are going to get roasted. We don't tolerate negativity. We only foster positivity and cultivate those types of interactions. $19.98. The only other behaviors or interactions I am trying to cultivate in my big box or plant shopping videos, aside from kindness, is how do we get out of a plant addiction, or more so feel like we have to buy every single plant we come across? That is one of my questions, and I'm hoping somebody can give me the answers, because it has become a slight problem. We're going to just downplay it and say slight problem. So as I start to wrap up this video, I'm going to just show you the beautiful scenes, and hopefully you plant foldies have actually enjoyed just looking at the plants. That is the intent of a lot of my big box or plant shopping videos, is for us to just hang out. I'm going to show you a couple more plants, and then we're going to end this video and just look forward to actually seeing more big box or plant shopping videos. And I'm thinking about live streaming the Pitas Planters Summer Nights Market that will happen this coming Saturday. I did have to highlight the my favorite pothos plant, this Neon Pothos by Urban Jungle, $14.98 in a hanging basket ceramic planter. And let's go ahead and spin around here one last time to look at these beautiful orchids and just get a glimpse of all of the beautiful plants at Lowe's. As always, plant foldies, it's always fun to hang out. Good vibes only when it comes to these big box or plant shopping videos. Know that I'll have a lot more of these, and I still have some PlantCon Houston footage I'm going to put. Again, consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It's only for $2.99. Press the join button or check out the comment section where I have the link directly to join pinned up. And as always, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfolds with all the notification bell on. It has been fun hanging out today, and hopefully you find some plants that are budget friendly, cost effective, and add it to your collection soon. This is Richie at Growfolds. You know that I'm going to have some new content soon. I'll see you then. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping out in Lowe's out in North McKinney, Texas. As always, please press that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at Growfolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. So send me a direct message if you have any questions about the plants that I feature during my big box or plant shopping videos. You can see that it is a cloudy day, but I did want to take some time to film some big box store plants. I have been doing a lot of content revolving around PlantCon 2025 in Houston, but I do miss the core of this YouTube channel, which is basically chatting about big box store plants and taking you alongside with me as I go shopping. So you can see that this is one of the Lowe's I do frequently visit just because I am based out in North Dallas. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. If you like this type of content, please press the subscribe button with all the notification bell on, because I will definitely have a live premiere chat as well. And this often brings in a lot of the plant lovers. But before we get into that,
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
and I am Richie from Grow Fold, and we are
Cultivation
Corner.
We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You
That's
have
what
to.
you're gonna
You
do.
have to. Today. All right,
Today.
guys. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
I'm excited to be joining Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants as we start to film season 3 for Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. If you haven't already, please go ahead and do a search on YouTube, Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. Subscribe to our podcast. We have 2 seasons completed, and it's quite interesting because more and more plant podcasts are appearing. But I am a little bit partial to the Cultivation Corner and our cultivators because there are 3 hosts on this plant podcast. And with your support, we hope that we continue to grow our pool of cultivators, which is what we call our listeners and viewers of the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I want to start this plant shopping video out by featuring a lot of the outdoor garden plants that Lowe's Garden Centers offers. We are going to get to the main event, which I already know, plant foldies. We already know you want to go ahead and watch the houseplants, but my mission is to diversify our plant interests. I want us to be able to appreciate all different types of plants. So not only do we look at the indoor tropical plants, but I do want to show you the beautiful outdoor garden plants. My garden is doing really well right now. I have a vegetable garden and I have a couple of flowers that are growing. For those that have been following my journey, I also have some baby chickens, a Rhode Island Red and a Barred Rock Plymouth chicken that I have named Catriona and Charlotte respectively. They live in my backyard. They are living their best life. They're about 5.5 weeks old. And shout out to Angelique. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You already know that your nieces are spoiled by getting some really good nutritious food. So that helps fund the channel and also funds my baby chickens. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, look at how lush and beautiful this outdoor garden section is. You know, the one thing I do appreciate about going out when it is a little bit cloudy, the weather is cooler. And if you live in Dallas, Texas or North Dallas, summers are super brutal. When things start to get 90, 95 plus 100-degree weather, it is just brutal to be out and about. So thankfully, we've actually had quite a bit of rain. We've had a couple of tornado scares, but luckily things have been okay out in North Dallas. But you can see right here, we have some flowering begonias. These wax begonias are really pretty, and you can see that they have so many beautiful blooms. And as I spin around here, I love the fact that Lowe's locations will have hanging baskets of Epipremnum aureum or golden pothos plants. You can see this one is for $19.84. It is already trailing, and we've got quite a bit of these hanging baskets of pothos plants. Pothos plants, if you don't have it in your collection, and I will repeat myself multiple times, it's interesting because sometimes folks will come in on the comment section and try to roast me for being very repetitive, long-winded, talkative, etc., etc. But you know what? I love the fact that the plant foldies, this plant community right here, will always defend me from any type of negativity. So I do appreciate that. But yes, I will be my most authentic self. Yes, I will probably say Hydra Helix. Now, for those that are new to the channel, that is my incorrect way of saying Hedera helix, English ivy, which is basically a plant foldy staple. At this point, you know, we've been doing big box or plant shopping videos for about a year and a half. And as I do more of these big box store videos, I just realized that it has really evolved from me just picking up plants, giving you the plant name, the plant price, and care tips, and really just making it more of like a personal blog where I'm just talking to you guys directly, because I feel like a lot of the plant foldies will gather during the live premiere chat. So if you are watching this video during a live premiere, which is typically 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, join the chat with the plant foldies. I kind of utilize these videos to just talk to you guys directly, because I look forward to interacting with the plant foldy community, each and every single one of you guys that gives me the time of day to allow me to make this type of content where I can take my phone and point and shoot and talk about plants. Speaking of plants, so I love azaleas. Azaleas are amazing because they remind me of Japanese gardens. You can see this is the autumn Encore, was it the Encore azaleas? And you can see that it does have that Satsuki azalea feel. These are for $15.98 by Encore Azalea. So I really love the look of that one. And you can see right over here, we have some of these that are in bloom. And what I like about Encore azaleas is that they rebloom at least 3 times a year. Typically, azaleas will only bloom once, which is usually in the spring or early summer, but Encore azaleas can rebloom 3 times a year. The problem with Encore azaleas and most azaleas is if you do not water them, they will go to plant heaven very quickly. They do not like to dry out for long periods of time. And I actually had one of these, and this one right here is really tempting me. So this one looks like a really good specimen to make into a bonsai. And for those that are new to the term bonsai, bonsai is the art of growing miniature trees that replicate trees in nature. And I think this would make such a good pre-bonsai because it's already got a good trunk structure, like a single trunk. I am tempted to buy this, but I am really trying not to spend as much money, because after going to PlantCon 2025 in Houston, I spent quite a bit of money, and you know, I don't regret it. And here's the thing, I want to go you know, give a message out to the plant foldies. Don't ever regret the decisions you make whenever you are buying plants. Yes, it may not always be the most financially sound decision, because we all don't want to overspend money. But if you spend the money, as long as you're not going into debt for thousands of dollars, it is okay to do that. Now, here's the flip side of it. People have mentioned that you are on plant bans. We have a super plant foldie by the name of Eric. Shout out to you, Eric. Thank you so much for always tuning in and sharing your love for Aglaonemas. I understand that plant burnout is real, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that whenever we're going to a big box store like this, like I want to buy you know, an Encore azalea to make it no bonsai. Is it really necessary for me to add that bonsai? Definitely not. And I think the want versus the need is really the question we have to ask, right? So we're looking at all of these beautiful roses, for instance. We're looking at all of these outdoor garden plants, and a lot of us will be inspired to either put them in containers, etc., etc. Just remember, whenever you are going big box or plant shopping, it is always about managing your time. Plant burnout becomes a plant burnout because we don't have time to actually enjoy the plant, because we feel overwhelmed with having to maintain the watering schedule, which is really number 1. And then number 2, the plant pest control. And then number 3, just having the time of day to sit down and really just enjoy the plant for what it is, versus having to like trim off leaves, clean the roots, etc., etc. There's just a lot that goes on with plants. And even as I do my voiceover, I'm looking at my room and I'm looking at some of the plants that are droopy. I'm looking at some of my plants that are a little bit sad looking, and I have to understand that, you know what, I probably have inundated myself with quite a bit of plants. And so the topic that was being discussed in a previous live chat was what you do to mitigate plant burnout. And the common consensus is downsizing. So for me, and I think a lot of the viewers have already known that I am really just collecting more so Aglaonema. I will showcase different types of plants, but I think that is my form of downsizing. Now, I did want to show you this right here. So bougainvilleas. Bougainvilleas are beautiful plants. They love full sun, but this is interesting how it has that green on green variegation. We always look for the green plant, but then when we start seeing specks of variegation, we get excited. I don't know what it is about us humans or just human beings in general that collect plants, but it seems like whenever a plant has some type of variegation, it increases the value of the plant. I think variegation just makes a plant a little bit more interesting, but does that make the plant more valuable? My question is, does it really make it more valuable, or do we put value on variegation? Plant foldies, leave in the comment section below what you think, because even this right here, this is just a typical bougainvillea, but with that green on green variegation, it does add that added interest. That's the thing about plant shopping as well. A lot of the plants that we buy at big box stores are typically cost effective. I mean, you can look at this right here. This one is the Tropic Escape by Costa Farms, and these are just your Alocasia. Now, I am curious, does anybody know the specific Alocasia names for the Tropic Escape series? You can see that there are other tropical plants that we have over here, so definitely check this out. I love the fact that these are only for $6.98. So they are really budget friendly and value added plants. I mean, I really love this Alocasia. I just wish somebody would let me know what that Alocasia plant ID is. So I'm hoping somebody can leave in the timestamps what this Alocasia is. I love it. I've actually had one of these last year. It grew into a massive one, but I forgot to take it indoors when winter hit, and well, it just didn't make it past the cold weather. And so that's the thing. Another thing I wanted to mention about plants, look at your grow zone. So my grow zone is 8B, and a lot of these beautiful mandevilla flowers, tropical shrubs, tropical plants in general that I could grow throughout the growing season of like spring, summer, and maybe early fall. There's only so much space you can add into your home. So those are some of my musings, some of my thoughts as I continue to kind of show you all of these outdoor plants. Hang tight, because I will be showing you the indoor tropical plants soon. There are some amazing variegated plants that I did find at this Lowe, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and just keep walking around and admiring the beautiful plants that Costa Farms offers for outdoor patio gardening. And plant foldies, have you guys noticed the new track that I'm playing here? Thank you to my kuya Jordan for actually making this track for me. So I'm trying to kind of diversify some of my original tracks, because as you know, I can't use copyrighted music, otherwise I can't keep these videos monetized. So enjoy the relaxing lo-fi vibes that this track has. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and then also let me know about the comments that you guys have for this gorgeous cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This one is the kiwi for only $6.98 by Costa Farms. I grow my cordyline tea plants outdoors in full sun, and they are doing just amazing. You can see we've got some hibiscus flowers here by Costa Farms. Again, the Tropic Escape series for $6.98. I am tempted to grow hibiscus where my family is from, which is originally the Philippines. We call hibiscus gomamela, and there are so many different varieties. They prefer full sun, obviously high humidity. And so for me, being able to grow a hibiscus flower long-term in North Dallas is just not really applicable. So I just enjoy looking at these plants whenever I go to big box or plant shopping. And then you can see right here, plant foldies. I'm just going to show you a couple more of these succulent plants. One thing I appreciate about big box or plant shopping is the diversity of succulents and cactus that they have, specifically Lowe's. I love that Oasis plant has a lot of these budget-friendly, cost-effective succulents. So let me know in the comment section if you are a succulent or cactus lover. You know, as far as plant foldies, there's many of us out there, and we all have different types of interests. But what I do love is there is a common denominator, and that is we love plants, we love good vibes only. So let's continue to just look at some of these succulents, because I will start to go back inside to show you the indoor tropical plants. something I'm super tempted to add is caladiums to my plant collection. So you can see right here, Proven Winners Heart to Heart series caladiums. These are hybrids by Proven Winners, $6.98. You can see that this one is another beautiful caladium. It's drought tolerant. You don't have to deadhead it. And according to Proven Winners, they say that you can actually make this into a houseplant, adaptive to a houseplant. I've used to grow so many different types of caladiums, but I just feel like these would just be hard to grow indoors. Now, this is my favorite heart-to-heart Proven Winners caladium. This is the Caladium Radiance. You can see that the red literally bleeds. And, you know, as far as my plant aesthetic, the plants that I'm really into, if you notice, there is a occurring theme when I talk about plants. Obviously, Aglaonema. I talk about croton plants. I talk about coleus plants. I talk about caladiums. All of them have a characteristic, and that is they have vibrant, colorful blooms. So you can see right over here, this is such a stunning caladium. And when it comes to Proven Winners plants, those are amazing outdoor garden plants. But even the Proven Winners Leaf Joy series, where they've tapped into the indoor tropical houseplant market, I just love the fact that even Proven Winners has really interesting indoor tropical plant offerings. But for the caladiums, they're definitely winning. I did want to get some of these caladiums, but I just feel like with a lot of the things that are going on with the YouTube channel, my job, which is just extremely busy and stressful, I just feel like I need to wean away from just wanting plants and just enjoying them when I go big box store plant shopping. So you'll notice that I'm doing less and less actual plant shopping and more window plant shopping, which is not a bad thing. You know, as far as me practicing mindfulness, the one thing that I do get out of making these videos, even though they are a little bit time consuming, is the fact that I know that it brings people joy. But even for me, it's just more of a relaxing routine where I could just walk around silently and film and look at these plants and really just take in the beauty of each bloom, each leaf, each foliage, each planter. I just really love it. And I do encourage anybody that might be, having stress, anxiety, etc., to just go out during a quiet morning and just go to a big box store or nursery like this and just surround yourself with beautiful plants. Take a deep breath and just enjoy it. Now, I talk about coleus plants, and you can see this is such a beautiful coleus plant. Even though coleus plants are considered more of like an outdoor patio plant, you can grow them long-term indoors. I would encourage any plant foldies to try it. I had a huge coleus obsession about a year ago. I'm not really growing coleus. I only have 3 in my collection so far, and I don't really plan to add any more, just because I feel like coleus, even though they are easy to care for plants, the only thing I would say is they need to be in shaded areas, and they are very thirsty plants. They're really easy to propagate. I just feel like I don't have all of the space set up to where I can just have them. My house is literally filled with over 100 plus Aglaonema, which you guys will hopefully be able to see soon during a houseplant tour, maybe in a year or two. Just kidding, I am working on it, but in terms of just trying to get this daily plant shopping content, it is a bit challenging. I do miss doing big box or plant shopping videos, even if I'm not able to produce 1 or 2 in a day. I just feel like something is a little off when it comes to my daily routine. This literally has become a daily routine, and I feel like a lot of the plant foldies that watch my content also make it a daily routine to just tune in and watch these beautiful plants be shown on video. And I did want to go point out some more of the plant products that I use. Osmocote is a plus. Super Bloom is a plus. So if you want your tomato plants, your vegetables to do really well and produce more blooms, use Super Bloom. Scott's Super Bloom is amazing. You will get a higher yield of vegetable production, as well as just bloom production when you water your plants with this particular bloom booster fertilizer. And obviously Osmocote, it's a slow release fertilizer, so you can mix that with your soils. And I need to get some more of the Osmocote. Now, I do prefer more of the natural or organic fertilizers such as worm castings and even some of the other products that We the Wild produces. So those are other plant products I would recommend. But if you're looking for something economical, budget friendly, something that will save you money with your fertilizers for your plants, Miracle-Gro fertilizer. It is one that, some people have different opinions about, but I have been using Miracle-Gro fertilizer for a good 2 decades, and I've had really good results with them. Now, some people are very strict about using only organic fertilizers versus synthetic ones like this Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer. I don't really have a problem with that. Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer really does well for a lot of your indoor tropical plants. Obviously, I like to use small micro doses, so I use a very small amount with each of my waterings just to continuously feed a lot of my plants that are vigorous feeders, so like pothos plants, for instance. So now we're gonna go walk into the indoor tropical section. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time just highlighting a lot of the exotic angel plants, live trends design plants, urban jungle plants, the big 3 that you will see at Lowe's locations. I recently did a poll for which big box store you would typically shop for houseplants, and Lowe's actually won when you compare it to Home Depot, Walmart, and Target. So I can agree with that. As far as Lowe's typically has indoor tropical plants in stock year round, even in the cold winters. So I do like that. I also love the fact that Costa Farms, you can't beat Costa Farms. Costa Farms is everywhere. Costa Farms is even creeping into local nurseries and small businesses, which is not a bad thing because I'm pretty sure they are able to offer very cost-effective plant pricing. And that's the thing. If you want to start a plant collection, you are most likely going to end up buying a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. Now, the 3-inch ones that I'm picking up are for $5.98. And so I'm just going to show you the ones that they have available. I like this Dracaena sandriana. This is also known as the Lucky Bamboo, the variegated version. And this one is only for $5.98. So if you want to start a houseplant collection, you're most likely going to see Costa Farms plants. Now, as far as Costa Farms plants, I do like that they have released some new trending tropical plants, which we will try to find. But as far as their typical exotic angel plants, you'll see a plethora of different types of pothos plants, croton plants, begonias, maybe a little bit of philodendron, and some Hoyas, definitely Dieffenbachias and Dracaena. So those are the typical plants you'll find. So let's just continue to pick up these exotic angel plants. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, which ones would you buy? And if you have any questions about the plant care tips, leave that in the comment section below. I can answer them as well. I love comments, and if you really want to support the channel and the engagement, just take some time. It only takes a second to leave a comment. I read each and every single one of them. Obviously, I want to foster constructive feedback if you have any, but also more so just really mindful social media etiquette when it comes to just being kind and positive. We don't ever want to attack each other, and that's something that I'm very adamant about, because as we utilize social media platforms such as YouTube, we want to make sure that we keep it positive. There is a lot of toxicity out there, and I'm just glad, for the most part, I would say 97% of our plant foldies are extremely mature and just really kind, and that's how we want to keep it at this YouTube channel. Now, as far as the Dieffenbachia we're looking at here, so Dieffenbachia, this is a plant that I am thinking about growing in the future, more so different varieties, maybe next year, because they do remind me of Aglaonema. They look very similar, but you can see that their plant care tips are a little bit different. And then obviously we have a beautiful Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Golden pothos. Please add a golden pothos in your plant collection. If you haven't already, go to a big box store today and go ahead and buy yourself a pothos plant. That is such an easy to care for plant. Same thing with the spathiphyllum, or what you call peace lily. Like this one right here is another one for $5.98. It is very much low light tolerant. It is definitely not drought tolerant. Like if you do not water this on a daily basis, it is almost ready to go to plant heaven if you just let it dry out. So interesting characteristic about spathiphyllums, I call them the dramatic plants. And you can see I have shown you guys lots of Costa Farms plants right over here, whether it's an exotic angel plant or all of these beautiful hanging baskets. Now, the 6-inch hanging baskets by Costa Farms are for $16.98. One thing I'd like to see from Costa Farms is more hanging baskets of like pink trailing plants like that Tradescanthia nanuk. I know that they have the Tradescanthias, but I would love to see a hanging basket of Tradescanthia nanuks. Maybe we'll see that, but as far as this hanging basket right here, this is a beautiful lipstick plant. They remind me of Hoyas. I love that it's trailing, and you know, all of my hanging baskets are typically pothos plants, and I don't have a problem with that. I think that easy care plants is something that we all need to really consider. Now, this fat Shadera, which is basically a Hydra helix and a Fatsa japonica cross, so it's an English ivy crossed with a Japanese Aurelia, and you can see that that's the reason why it has an upright look on it. Nice plant. And then we also have a Syngonium in a 5-inch planter for $8.98. Syngoniums need bright indirect light. You definitely want to water them consistently, so let them dry out completely and water them. But you know, Syngoniums, again, they are one of those plants that will get fussy if you let them stay dry for too long. And I've noticed that even with pothos plants, like, you really don't want to push the envelope with pothos plants. Honestly, you can probably overwater your pothos plants and they tend to still do well. Peperomia Pixie Lime is a beautiful hanging basket. This one is for $20.98 by Costa Farms. This has been a plant that I've been looking at for more than a year, but I've noticed that there are certain plants that I will see whenever I am out shopping for plants, and I am perfectly comfortable just window shopping and just picking up the plant and just admiring it. And I'm not saying that you guys should not shop for plants, because clearly a lot of these plants need to go to good homes, but be okay with doing window plant shopping. Like this right here, I can appreciate that Lowe's is carrying these Costa Farms combination planters, but it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I still appreciate that they look really pretty. I do like that this one has 3 different plants. We've got a palm, we've got a croton plant, and a marble queen pothos, and all of these are only for $17.98. So you can think of it as a 3-in-1 special. I'm always looking for Lowe's deals, Lowe's savings, ways to save money whenever you are shopping for plants. And that's really the key word, right? It is always about trying to manage your finances. Now, some people, you may not be as closely in tune with possibly looking at your finances. Some of you guys might just end up just buying the plant and not thinking about how much it costs. I wish I was on that level, but I've really got to reel it in when it comes to spending money on plants. Like this right here, beautiful Hoya for all my Hoya lovers, my Hoya heads, $16.98. And I am curious for anybody that has gone big box store plant shopping, what is your budget that you really set for plants? I really am asking the plant foldies, if you really want to support this channel, leave that in the comment section. I want to know exactly like what a typical plant foldy budget is. I'm trying to get to know our community a little bit closer. So leave that in the comments if you have time. And also if you let me know what you think about Dieffenbachia, because Dieffenbachia, they're so pretty to look at. They are not pet friendly, and this is for $15.98. I am starting to look at pet-friendly plants because I do have baby chickens, and even though my chickens are now going to be more so outdoors, even my tropical plants that are growing outdoors, some of my pothos plants, some of my philodendron, I can't really leave my baby chickens to kind of graze around that area because I don't want them to die because they are highly toxic to plants. So that's one thing that we've talked about. I never really looked into like plants that are pet friendly because I never really had any pets that were growing and living with me indoors. But now that I have Charlotte and Catriona, I have to be a little bit more mindful. Did you know Calathea dotty is actually a pet-friendly plant? So Calatheas, Maranthas, prayer plants are actually not toxic to not toxic to pets. So that is a pet-friendly plant. So, you know, as far as pet-friendly plants, to list a couple, I would say Hoyas are also pet-friendly. That's one thing that I want to try to do a little bit more research on as I do big box or plan shopping, is to let you know what is pet friendly, because now that I have some baby chickens and I have my own pets, I have to be a little bit more mindful about what is toxic to your pets. But Calathea dotty, I like it. This is now actually reduced in its price. It used to be a trending tropical plant by Costa Farms. Now it's just in a self-watering 6-inch planter for only $15.98. Beautiful plant, but Calatheas are just the biggest heartbreakers. I have not been able to grow one long term. I am curious, plant foldies, if you've been able to grow a Calathea long term, please leave it in the comment section and let me know what your secret is, what the process is, because clearly in the last year and a half, I have not been able to figure it out. Now, as far as interesting texture plants, like this one right here is an interesting one. Hanging basket by Costa Farms. This one is for $16.98. I'm not so much into like really small foliage plants, but needless to say, it's got a really nice texture. So plant foldies, let's just keep looking at plants. You know, this is another example of a philodendron pink princess now that is reduced to $15.98. This used to be a trending tropical Costa Farms plant for $19.98, but I just feel like the allure of certain plants like the philodendron pink princess has really declined in the last 3 years, because it's mostly readily available, and you have to think about the different types of strands of philodendron pink princess. They have a philodendron pink princess galaxy, which has higher pink variegation. Over here is a Syndapsis trubii moonlight. It's still a trending tropical plant for $19.98. Beautiful metallic silver bluish foliage. I need to get one of these plants because even though it's a slow growing plant, it's such a beautiful plant, and there are so many different varieties of Syndapsis that are making it into the market. So that's another beautiful one that I would add to my collection. you can see that we have a combination of Live Trends design plant and Costa Farms hanging basket. Hanging baskets for me, they are a nice stylistic approach, but for me, it's just a little bit challenging because of the watering that it's required. Sometimes you have to get on a ladder and it's just a little bit more upkeep. And then you also have to think about like how much light your hanging basket is getting. Now, again, I love to just feature the golden pothos or any type of epipremnum aureum. This one is for $15.98. So as I walk around this Lowe's location, I wouldn't necessarily say that they have a lot of restocks. These are plants that you probably have seen in a lot of my videos, but what's interesting is whenever you start to look at some of the plant pricing and how the plant prices have really gone down over the years, even with the philodendron pink princess. I mean, last year it was a trending tropical Costa Farms plant for like $19.98. Now you can find it for $15.98. Now we do have some more Hoyas. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of our Hoya heads, or for those that love Hoyas, I'm pretty sure you guys wish that there were more Hoya varieties available at big box stores. I certainly do. I feel like I would get into it a little bit more. Same thing with like Aglaonemas, but as you can see right here, one of my favorite ceramic planters, this one is by Urban Jungle, and you can see that they have some beautiful bird's nest ferns. Now, all of these Urban Jungle ceramic planters are only for $14.98. I really like the terracotta look about it. And you can see there are different varieties of bird's nest fern. Bird's nest fern can get massive. You just have to basically have the space for it. I do think that they are a little bit easier to take care of than the typical fern. And, whenever I was actually on vacation in the Philippines last year in July, I remember seeing them as large as like 4 to 5 feet in width and height. So really massive plants. I do love the fact that there is a unique shape. It almost reminds me of like a Live Trends design plant, but clearly this is an Urban Jungle plant. And, as far as the stylistic approach, you have to really look at the planter and even just the colors, the shape, the color palette, the textures, all of it kind of factors in on how the mood is for your plant. So that's one thing I haven't really delved into is plant styling. I would say I'm more of a plant hoarder than a plant collector, but that's another topic I'll discuss in a future big box or plant shopping video. I also love the fact that they do have this Epipremnum alplicimum, or what you call the silver streak pothos. This used to be another trending tropical plant for $19.98 by Costa Farms, but now it is a reduced price, a better deal for only $15.98. So for me, if you ever find a plant that you're really wanting to get, it really just depends on your patience. If you're willing to wait a year or two, know that any plant, no matter how expensive or how trending it is, eventually over time, the plant's price will depreciate and you'll be able to get it at more affordable prices. Like there is an example that I want, and everybody knows this. I've talked about the Aglaonema Crown of Siam. Please do a online search and you will understand why that is such a beautiful Aglaonema. But I've only found it for about $400, and I don't really want to spend $400 on a specific Aglaonema. There are some plants that I've spent over $100 for, but $400 is asking a little bit much for it. I mean, this philodendron pink princess, for instance, is only $15.98. The thing I've found about philodendron pink princess that I'm not as big of a fan is the climbing philodendron, the ones that need a pole, and the majority of them really do need poles. So, it depends on that. Also with philodendron pink princess, it is all about the initial genetics of the plant. So you can see this one right here has beautiful pink variegation. You have a higher chance of it pushing out more pink. If you find one that is a little bit less variegated, most likely it's not going to give you the variegation you want. And again, as far as the plants that we're seeing here, I like the fact that most Lowe's locations have the same type of merchandising. I mean, you can see that there always is an end cap full of Live Trends design. And the next big box or plant shopping video, I'm actually going to feature specifically Live Trends design. Obviously, I'll show a couple of Urban Jungle plants as well as Costa Farms plants, but there is something to be said about plant styling and just the stylistic approach that Live Trends design has. I mean, they have that motto of fusing nature and art, Live Trends design. And I can even see this, like, notice how they do have like a alocasia silver dragon here. This one is for $14.98, but look at how simplistic the planter is. I really love very minimalistic planters, and for me it's just because I feel like if the planter is a little bit more minimalistic, you kind of focus more of the attention to the actual plant. Now this one right here is an Epipremnum aureum green Jula pothos, although I feel like this is more of a reverted enjoy. It doesn't have the Manjula pothos large leaves, so maybe this is mislabeled, but this one is for $16.98. Let's take a look at some more of these hanging baskets. Now this one looks like a Grinjula pothos. So what I would say about Grinjula pothos is it's basically a reverted or more of like a subtle green on green variegated Manjula pothos. Now Manjula pothos are my second most favorite pothos plant to grow. My favorite pothos plant has to be the neon pothos, just because it's got that bright neon coloration. This is still a beautiful plant, and I like just the leaf shape of the Manjula pothos. That is the Grinjula pothos. And let's take a look at some more of these plants right over here. So Ficus shivriana in a 10-inch planter by Costa Farms. This is for $29.98. So story time on the Ficus shivriana. Something like this size Ficus shivriana about 4 years ago used to be about like $400 to $500, and now you can get it for $29.98. We do have a bunch of Majesty palms right over here, for instance, but as far as the Ficus shivriana, beautiful plant. I have mine growing outdoors in full sun, and I remember getting excited buying it from the Green Escape on Etsy for like, I think $30 as a 2-inch starter planter, and now it's about this size. It is a very slow grower, and I just feel like it's sized up even more so though now that I've been growing it outdoors in full sun. Now Ficus elastica or any type of rubber tree plant like this definitely needs to be growing out in full sun or lots of light. You'll notice that it's got really nice variegation, more of a peachy neon green color, and then I'm just glad to always run into an Aglaonema red siam. So this is for $15.98, but to my plant foldy David, who has helped me rescue Aglaonema red siams, this one is on clearance, so it's half off, 50% off of $15.98. Beautiful red colors. Now if anybody wants me to rescue this, obviously you can drop a super sticker or super thanks in the live chat or even in the comment section. That is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator on YouTube if you want to show some appreciation through a monetary tip. Obviously don't feel obligated to, but I always like to just remind anybody that doesn't know that that is an option. You can drop a super sticker, but I might consider actually rescuing this. It really just depends on if whether somebody wants to drop a super sticker. I have a lot of Aglaonema red siams already, but that one is a beautiful specimen because it actually has more reddish tones on the leaves. And then you can see this one is actually full price, $15.98. So I recently did a poll and I noticed that certain plant foldies do not own an Aglaonema red siam, and some of you guys have even given feedback that you won't buy an Aglaonema red siam. I would like for you guys to reconsider. I think every single plant foldy should have an Aglaonema red siam. Please leave that in the comment section if you agree, if you have an Aglaonema red siam. I know some people really do consider it a basic plant, but just a basic plant doesn't mean that it's not a value-added plant. Same thing with this Epipremnum aureum, pearls and jade pothos. So this is for $22.98 by Live Trends Design. Beautiful variegation for this pothos plant. This one is a moderate grower. I wouldn't say it's a slow grower like maybe and enjoy pothos. But you can see that there is still quite a bit of plants over here, and we're just going to look at some more of these Costa Farm self-watering planters for $15.98. Another Ficus elastica. This one is the ruby variety. Plant foldies, you'll see that we have a lot of Pachira aquatica, or your lucky money tree plants right here. These are by Costa Farms for $29.98. And you can see in the background, we've got lots of beautiful modern looking planters that Lowe's offers. And I'm still deciding on whether I should just end up buying that ginkgo planter that I always feature in my videos. But you can see Pachira aquatica. Actually, it's $35.98 in a braided form. That is one that I would eventually get in my plant collection. And you can see that there are some Lowe's deals. These are limited time only. You can buy some of these palms for that price. So as far as ways to save money or manage your finances whenever you're going plant shopping, couple of tips I want to put out there. Number one, participate in loyalty programs for big box stores, whether it is downloading the Walmart app, the Target app, the Lowe's app, the Home Depot app. They have ways to save money because they offer coupons, digital coupons, you get points. So participate in big box store loyalty programs, and then also just look for coupons, and then also look for clearance plants. Some plants that are not necessarily in the best health, but you can still salvage them. That's what ways to save money. Also, comparing and contrasting plant pricing among big box stores, because you would be surprised about some of the nuances in pricing that you will find. So some of my tips on how to save money on shopping for houseplants, those are a couple that I would feature. And then you could just see right here, I'm just showing you all of the plants that they have to offer. This one is an urban jungle plant. This is a Homalomena shelby. I love the green on green coloration. It reminds me of like camouflage. Beautiful plant, one that I would recommend if you like this type of aesthetic. I just feel like the Homalomena shelby though is a bit of a finicky plant. I think you have to stay on top of the watering. Calathea dotty right next to it is definitely a finicky plant, and Calatheas will just not make it into my plant collection. Unfortunately, after sending so many to Plant Heaven, I just don't want to keep losing money. And, I have to ask the plant foldies, how much money have you lost with sending plants to Plant Heaven? Leave that in the comments section. And as far as Miracle Grow indoor plant food, I like using this because I'll squirt like 1 or 2 pumps into my water that I use for watering. And that's basically microdosing the plants. And then I want to show you this. This is an Aglaonema Nicole. Look at how beautiful this is. It is a large foliage one, and this one is by Live Trends Design for $22.98. Like, I would buy this again. So there are certain plants like this. Even though it's not a colorful pink or red plant, I love the silver foliage. This is another plant that I would recommend. Same thing with this urban jungle planter for $19.98. This is an Aglaonema golden base. So these are what I call the green large leaf form Aglaonema, not the ones that are like smaller colorful leaves, but these ones are typically the easier Aglaonema to take care of. Highly recommend it. Beautiful coloration, beautiful foliage. I mean, we can take a look at this. I mean, look at that. Would you buy these Aglaonema? Please leave that in the comment section. Like, if I had the funds to buy these, I would buy them again. I actually have 3 Aglaonema golden base already in my plant collection, but I could use a 4th. So, feel free to drop a super sticker, Plant Foldies, if you want to support me on that, because I will definitely drive myself back to buy the plants. I have to say, I am proud that even though I am seeing such beautiful plants, I am not investing and buying plants that I may not necessarily need. And that's really something that I feel like as a plant folding community, we should talk about. there is this inner voice that we all feel like we have to buy plants anytime we go to a big box store or a plant nursery. Every single plant we pick up, we feel like we have to buy. And I get it. For me, Aglaonema, if it's a new variety that has like a pink streak that looks similar to another Aglaonema, I would still buy it. What I do want to highlight is take a look at these Monstera Thai constellations. So Costa Farms is selling them as a trending tropical plant for $29.98. Monstera Thai constellations used to be such a rare plant where people would spend money. My original Monstera Thai constellation, I remember buying years back from eBay, a 1-leaf, 1-node cutting for $200. Now, these can be found at big box stores, and I love the fact that there are variegated plants. Variegated Monstera at a big box store, variegated philodendrons at a big box store, and Costa Farms has made it available for us. And some people have opinions about Costa Farms. I will just say again that the staff that I've met with Costa Farms, my interactions with the team at Costa Farms have always been a positive interaction. And then the plants that they have available for people to buy, I mean, I just would say they've made it to where more people are in the plant collecting business or the plant collecting hobby because Costa Farms has made it more readily available. Now, granted, you already know Plant Foldies, you already know that I love supporting big box stores, but also small businesses. I'm going to go ahead and shout out Classy Rabbit Soil. If you have not bought a bag of Classy Rabbit Soil, go to classyrabbit.com and definitely buy your bag with that. And I do have some exciting news as I pick up these philodendron ring of fires. I was recently selected by the Bonsai Supply. Please follow the Bonsai Supply on Instagram as an actual affiliate to go sell some of their products. So if you're into bonsai or if you want to get access to their amazing soil for bonsai that you can use for your succulents and cactus because it's super fast draining, I'm going to eventually make an unboxing video of all the free goodies that they gave, and I'm just really happy that I am now an affiliate for the Bonsai Supply. I've literally been buying their soil for more than 5 years just because that's another hobby of mine. I feel like their soil is honestly some of the best bonsai soil ever. And then you can just see right here, Plant Foldies, more and more Ficus elastica. And as far as Ficus elastica, you can actually trim it down and produce more branching of this plant. I remember seeing this also in the Philippines where it was like 20 to 30 feet tall. It was a full-blown tree, and it's just interesting to see what these plants look like in the native environments that they have, especially with the philodendrons that just kind of crawl up. But you'll see these are all for $13.95. All of these gorgeous urban jungle plants. This one is a zebra plant, and we're just gonna walk around and pick up more plants. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you made it this far into the video, Plant Foldies, and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, can I please hit the like button for this video? It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, because I want to see more Plant Foldies in the live chat. I've been seeing more and more people participating, and I really appreciate that. So let's just keep picking up some of these plants and seeing what they have at this Lowe's location. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this big box store plant shopping episode today. will say about Costa Farms. They just have all of these trending tropical plants. I'm really curious to see what their production levels look like, because whenever you go to a big box store, they have several dozen of these Syndapsis, Trubei Moonlight. That's one thing I regret, is not being able to see the actual tour. And you can see that Costa Farms even has bonsai. And, that's one thing I want to do, is I want to take a Costa Farms plant like this and pot it up in the bonsai supply soil mix that I will be receiving. Again, I'm just really excited that I'm getting a little bit more opportunities to promote products that I have used or truly believe in. And that's the thing. I am one of these people that I will support something that I truly appreciate. So whenever I talk about Pitas planters, for instance, or inundate you with so many Classy Rabbit quote commercials, it's because I really want you guys to try the product because they work for me, or shop at Pitas Planters because Pitas Planters has awesome plant shopping. Now, Lowe's, if you ask me which big box store I shop the most for houseplants, it's definitely going to be Lowe's. Lowe's has a lot of the big box store plants that I like. Costa Farms, I like Urban Jungle Plants, as well as Live Trends Design. And, as I wrap up this big box store plant shopping video, I will say I am super happy that I was able to film some of these big box stores. Life gets in the way. Sometimes things get a little bit busy, but once I'm able to get back into routine and be consistent, it just brings me so much joy. I just love the fact that whenever I produce a big box store, I see more engagement, more views, but more so more happiness in the chat sessions. I did want to shout out again David, who is always gifting people with YouTube membership tiers. I will say that Luke Plantfoldy Luke was super excited that he finally became a super Plantfoldy. And for those that are listening or watching, I do have a YouTube membership tier. I need to be better about uploading more membership only videos. But if you ever consider joining the YouTube membership tier, just click the link that is pinned in the comment section. Or if you're watching this video on a computer, just hit join. It does help with the sustainability of this YouTube channel, because for only $2.99, basically it is the price of a cup of coffee. You are able to support my channel and get more access to my daily lifestyle blogs, my food blogs, my personal plants, my house plant tour, etc. So definitely check that out, and definitely check out this Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Beautiful plant, $16.98. If I were to buy a plant today, this would have been the plant I would have bought, because it's such a beautiful plant. It has really nice foliage. And then look at these alocasias. Can you imagine that these alocasias used to be super expensive about 4 to 5 years ago, especially during the pandemic, and now they are more readily available. I do believe there is a resurgence of people who love plants, but as I pin around here, I do want to pick up one of the final plants. This one is for $24.98. It is the classic Aglaonema Red Siam. And I do ask any Plantfoldy, anybody that just watches my video, go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema Red Siam. Get yourself what you would call a basic plant, because this basic plant is going to give you a lot of joy. It is low light tolerant. It is drought tolerant. It is the official Plantfoldy mascot in terms of what this YouTube channel represents, and it's basically universal love for plants, as well as just easy care, simple, budget friendly, all of the above. So as I finish this big box store plant shopping video with the Aglaonema Red Siam, I wish everybody an amazing day and an amazing weekend. And again, consider joining my YouTube membership tier. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode. As always, my name is Richie at Growfold. Good vibes only. And as always, please make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and turn on all the notifications as well. I'll have a new one tomorrow. Bye.